Thank you for staying with us, and I'm glad we have a small group though, because we're gonna do some cool activities, kind of addressing the youth-led, youth-driven model. And with me up here today is Brandon and Chris.
Hola.
I think the mic man wants us to use those mics. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm only. Yeah, Chris is trying to buy a house right now. So if he's a little distracted about buying a house because he's trying to be an adult, and the realtor's like, "Hey, the market is nuts. If we could do this now,"
it's like happening like right
I'm
now.
in Penn State buying a house.
By the way, you know how tired he.
Oh man, if I could deal with the winter, I would still be there. I feel like Pittsburgh winters are so worse than Philadelphia ones.
I feel like if they had better sports.
Well, we love
teams,
Pittsburgh,
maybe.
just in the springtime.
Yes, I encourage folks to move up if they would like, but you're going to be getting up anyway soon. So you want to go to the next slide, B? Because I don't have a clicker, or I can't reach that.
Sure. Well, I guess we'll just introduce what we're going to actually be talking about.
I was going to on the next slide.
Okay.
So on the screen is the mission of the Pennsylvania Youth Leadership Network, and for a lot of you, you've been in all our sessions today, so I'm sorry that you still see us. But hopefully every topic that we've addressed is one that you kind of see what we're about. Earlier we talked about person-centered planning, but the mission of the network itself is to coordinate a network, imagine that, of youth-led, youth-driven, and inclusive organizations of youth and young adults, both with and without disabilities, across Pennsylvania. PYLN promotes advocacy, self-determination, leadership, empowerment, and service learning in the areas of transition, which is why we're here at this conference, employment, education, and community engagement. That's a really long...
It's very long.
That's a really long mission, but you see youth-led, youth-driven. And so I don't know if, Brandon, if you want to explain what that really, truly, honestly means in terms of how we do our business, like what youth-led, youth-driven means for PYLN.
Yeah, so, well, I guess to the basis is that PYLN was founded by how many youth? Was it
6.
In the beginning, 6, and how long ago was that?
Like 12 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. It's been around forever.
Yeah, and it was founded on the basis of youth-led, youth-driven, and what that means is the power was given to the youth who are running PYLN. There were adult allies, and we will talk. That's actually a big part of this presentation is the role of the adult allies. But all they did was facilitate really the meeting spaces and any kind of obstacles the youth had to go through to really build out the network.
And so, how many of you are educators in here, like by trade? That's what hat you're wearing today. How many parents do I have in here? 1. Okay. So when we're talking about the concept of adult ally, I think that's next, if I remember this right. Yeah. It is, kind of like Brandon said, it's like tipping the scales where typically adults have the power if you're an educator, right? You're in the front of the room, you're giving assignments. If you are a parent, you are also, you live under my roof, it's my place, this is what we're going to do, this is your chores, this is what you do, this is how I am, this is what the rules are, these are the boundaries. The youth-led, youth-driven model kind of flips that, where adults are supporting and giving youth the power to make decisions and make choices and lead things. And the adults are in the background supporting. Kind of like Brandon said, that might be if you're a teacher, you know where the money is, you know where the space is, you can offer that support.
We have one affiliate that talked in our affiliate panel about, like a good example of this was the students in the group wrote an article basically that was published on their website. They did all the editing, all the writing, all the proofreading, all the research for it. The youth did that, and the adult ally was there to facilitate basically, okay, once they're done, we take it to the legal team, make sure it's okay, and then they get approval. Kind of the stuff that the youth aren't able to do, but everything else is facilitated or done by the youth.
And so
who was that? That was
Morgan.
Yes.
And so Morgan actually runs an affiliate that is all cyber charter schools online across the state of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And when they're creating this, I just couldn't, I think she's a great adult ally because she's literally kind of mastered it with these students who are all meeting virtually.
Yeah.
but they're creating websites and content and having subcommittee meetings and doing all that stuff. And she knows what's going on, but she's just created the structure using Google Hangouts and other things through the school to have students have their meetings and do what they need to do. But it's really awesome to see it happen. So when we're talking about the word adult ally, because some people are like, I don't know what that means. I don't get it. So what, Chris, you want to talk about what it is and what it is not?
Absolutely. So it's real simple. The adult ally, we like to call it just like the adult champion. So it's someone that acts as the primary resource for a group, kind of like a walking resource center to help the group navigate challenges, create their programming, things of that nature. We always like to say, I always like to use the analogies, it's kind of like a pendulum, right? So you want to be there, you want to be an active participant and have an active role with your youth and with your group and with their organization, but you want to make sure that they're able to define the experience, that they're able to continually be in the driver's seat through the experience. So it's like, you have to balance it out of like, okay, I want to be there, want to be supportive, but also want to give them the space to flourish. And some of the things to keep in mind through that is that an adult ally is someone who chooses to support on the goals of the group, someone coming from a place of trust that's not trying to lead youth to what they think they should be doing, but like giving them the opportunity to find their own opportunities organically. Someone who believes in the youth and believes in what they're doing, and someone who knows the youth. An adult ally is not someone that feels as though they are in charge or they know the best way or the best way to proceed to achieve their goals. Also, someone who gives orders, someone who like kind of coddles the don't when we say coddle, it's kind of like being a little bit of overbearing. Earlier in one of our earlier sessions we used the term helicopter parent, meaning that they're always hovering over. They don't give the youth the opportunity to grow and flourish, and either being too involved, like just being there, like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, or just being non-existent. So the key word that goes with the adult ally is balance. Balance is key. It's going to take some time to kind of figure out what that right balance is, but once you get it on your boots on the ground, you should be able to figure that out pretty easily.
Well, and so for the parent that's in the room, I think that, and I will admit, I'm old, live on my own, all that stuff, but I will say that when my mother and I were going through this transition many years ago, she thought my mom is a job coach by trade, so she does transition as a job. So she thought she had it all figured out. And she came to a presentation about being an adult ally. And at the end of that, I said, I'm at a point now where I don't need you to really be, you are my mom. I'm not saying that you're not, and you can tell me what to do, but there are certain parts of this decision-making process that I need you to be my ally. I'm telling you what I want to do. I need you to help me get to where I want to go. And so, but there are, in certain cases, some parameters and boundaries that we all live in a school, in a community, right? So as an adult ally, you want to be able to draw those boundaries out and say, okay, here's the box that you can play in, okay? But how we get to the end goal of what we're trying to do is your choice. And that's kind of how PYLN was founded, what kind of Brandon mentioned. When it first began all those years ago, it actually was the Department of Special Ed that said, we want to have some youth leadership, youth development thing that happens in Pennsylvania. And they were given a bunch of money to run an event that was going to happen once in Harrisburg. And they got a bunch of youth together and they said, okay, we have X number of dollars to run an event at this hotel. Not this hotel, but another hotel, but whatever, okay? And so what we did during that time was entirely up to the young adults that were in the room. And so it went from, presentations in a classroom style to literal like relay races and like jumping jacks and like karaoke contests and like all kinds of stuff. And
marshmallow balloons.
Yeah, and what you saw today, what you saw this morning with your, the butter and the candy and stuff. It's just, okay, what do you want to do with the time that's going to get the point across? That, for those adults that were in that room, that was hard to say, oh my gosh, we're going to run a conference and do this, this, and this. I have no idea if it's going to work. But the cool part is, for the young people that are there, if it works or not, they're invested in it, right? So they're going to learn either way. But the reality is those adult allies are in that space supporting and mentoring the young people. And I can say for all three of us, the adult allies that we have worked with within the network are, I would say, references for jobs, almost family members to this point for us. So, and it goes beyond a classroom or professional relationship at this point, because we're also invested in one another, and so it is very different. Uh-oh. Did we break it?
No.
I think we actually covered this.
Yeah, I think we really did.
We did. It's like I know what's coming next. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have activities that demonstrate the youth-led, youth-driven model. And we're going to do this in 3 ways. So Brandon, I don't know if you kind of want to explain, we're going to do, not explain the activities, but kind of talk about like what the first activity is supposed to be, the second one, and the third one, and how they're going to differ.
Sure. Okay, so for the first one, well, let's just do the first, and then we'll explain the second. Yeah. So these are going to be activities. We're going to have to get up for the first one. So who's a youth here? Raise your hand.
If you're a youth, raise your hand. Okay.
All right.
You all are on a team.
Yeah, you guys are on a team. Well, not a team. We're all going to be working together on this activity, but we're going to be separated from the adults and the youth. So the adults can get up, and what the youth are going to have to do is put you guys in order of age from youngest to oldest. But the catch is that the youth can talk to each other, but the adults can't say anything.
So the adults can get up and go to a space. Actually, why don't we do it along
This wall?
Along this wall.
That's that one.
And the youth get together and communicate with each other to put them in the order of youngest to oldest. Dun dun dun.
And you can do it however you like.
Dun dun dun.
And if an adult talks, we kick him out.
Yep. And if an adult talks, you got to kick them out. So you guys can work together to try to figure out, how do you think you can figure out how old they are without talking to them? What other resources can you use? Oh, what are they doing? Dun dun dun. What about the use of sign language?
Yeah. You guys can communicate with the adults, but they just can't. They can't speak words.
You can talk to each other. They cannot talk to you. So what might be another way for you to talk to them without them talking?
Well, who was born in a specific or year or decade would go to one side. If you were so go to all the way to the right if you were born.
He's like, what's old?
Ooh, this is a strategy. I didn't think of this strategy. This is a good strategy.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Ooh, out. No, I'm joking.
Ooh, okay, we'll let that slide. Keep going.
Okay, go in that direction if you were born within the 1960s.
We have one. I'll
If you
commentate.
were born within the 1970s, go.
Oh man.
Oh, snap. Like all of them.
Okay, the 1980s.
That was a good decade. Just saying, I was there once.
So, I guess that will be the youngest side over there. No, you're gonna be with us.
Okay, so she just walked back in. So what you're doing is we have asked the young people in the room to put the adults in order from youngest to oldest. But the catch is that you all can talk to each other, but the adults cannot talk to you.
Right. So I've had. Not yet.
It could be a dangerous game. It could be.
From the 60s, go over to there, then people from the 70s, then people born from the 1980s, and then that's okay. 80s there. So the ones in the 70s are going to be like sort of in the middle, so there's an equal space between the. Okay.
It was smart, but I don't know how old they are now.
Yeah, he's trying to be technical with
Oh,
it.
well, I mean,
This is unchangeable.
well,
Mhm. Yeah. You guys can do.
yes.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say. What about the use of sign language?
So 77. Okay.
Whoa.
Is there anyone of you in the 70s born before 77? there were, go to her left or her right.
Ooh, good directions again. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense. I can't follow this.
So, and then you want to go back to the board. I think I did this wrong, but I did that in the wrong order because I wanted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Anyone after 77 or over on that side? Anyone before 77 over there?
You were not.
Hmm.
Santa, not. No.
We have 25
You're not
minutes,
this age.
so
No.
a little bit, couple more minutes on this and then the next one.
That might be
You
a
have
good
3
way.
minutes.
There we go.
3 minutes.
That might be a good way to verify.
Okay.
3
now let's
minutes.
see. I know. Okay, you'll each hold up a hand. Show how many decades you have lived, I guess. How, like, and then the next one will be, then put that down, and then how many digits. So,
I get what he's saying. Okay.
Oh, I see.
So, like, you know.
41 over here, 45, 47, 43, and then we have, you are 43, okay.
Sign
Do we
language.
think we have it right?
Interesting.
You are 45?
Yeah. Do we think we have it right?
Okay, so we have it, so
Do we have it right?
switch.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Now I pick
So much pressure.
The
Jess
pressure.
is shaking in her boots right now. She doesn't even know what's happening. Or she's texting Bo. Hey, Bo.
one more for you two.
Yeah, but you didn't see your right.
Okay.
Oh, you got it right. Okay, good.
Think you're good? Okay. Wait, we gotta confirm.
We have to verify. They
Let's
could be
verify
lying
with
and it could be
voice.
helping each other out. It could be
Yeah.
this conspiracy against us.
52.
So yeah, we'll
I
start.
told you.
Yeah.
I was right. I told you.
52.
Younger.
Go ahead and go next. Sorry about the ages.
47.
Go ahead.
45.
Boom.
43.
Boom. Boom.
There you
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
So
Comment? Any
Sure.
chance you guys had a woman help you come up with this game by any chance?
Actually, you know what? Yes.
yes.
I'm having
And we
a hard
And
time
ac-
believing
and
that.
we said, are you sure we should use the ages?
Tell her she was
And
wrong.
and actually, it was Allie.
Because our idea was height initially. Like, we was going to just say,
But
like,
yeah.
smallest to tallest.
Because
You know?
we actually went to the board and said we should not do age. And
Yep.
they were like, whatever.
They were like, okay. So
I'm
was
like,
it
I'm married. I understand what that means.
for the adults? Was it difficult not to just say?
Oh, yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
probably first reaction, right?
Yep.
I love that. That was awesome.
Oh, there's more.
Okay, so we have a second activity. We're good.
We need
Go ahead.
paper.
Yeah, that's right.
Jess, can you get paper that you bought for us?
Actually, she brought it from her house. I told her.
Oh, wow.
I told her I could reimburse her for market
So
value
she-
of
so
half
she-
a ream of paper. So we're gonna have to pair off, right?
Yes.
We
So I would pair up with someone, and if you're
Try to do like a youth with a parent or with a professional, and then the extra professionals out there can kind of pair up with each other, or parents out there.
I think you'll get the idea.
Yeah,
Either
and
way.
and we'll just do like role playing thing.
So go
So
ahead and
pair
up.
off.
Please.
Each pair gets one paper.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jess,
Ask somebody else.
make me eat butter. Straight butter. Straight butter.
Wow. Okay.
I'm done right now.
Yeah, I exhausted.
So the youth, you can either, when I tell you, close your eyes, or you can swing around the table and have your back to the. Wait, am I doing it the other way?
The adults are drawing, I think. No.
No,
The adults are
the
giving
adults are
directions.
drawing. Other way around. The adults either close your eyes when I say so, or spin around to have your back to the board.
No, wouldn't the adults be looking at the screen?
No.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yeah.
The
So
adults are
right
looking-
now we are looking for pairs, and then we're going to do like kind of like back to what's the face to face it, like like pretty much just pair off, and we're going to face each other. And we want to give you instructions.
Yeah,
moving forward.
the youth will be looking at the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys want to switch.
Yeah.
And then those of
Switcheroo.
you who are doing, or parents and professional in the same pairing, just pick someone.
Someone
To do
should
it
not
for-
be facing the screen. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, so if
yes,
you want
please.
to.
Yeah, a group of 3 would be fine. Yeah.
It's the same concept. We just want you to understand what this is.
Anybody missing a person? No.
I'm always missing a person.
Yeah, one.
I think Adam and Amanda are missing people.
Oh, no.
Amanda, did I say Amanda? Oh my gosh,
Oh
Jess,
my
I'm so sorry.
God, Jess.
I don't know why I did
She's
that.
a new board member. You don't even know her name.
Ah.
She doesn't exist.
I feel that's the first time I've done that.
Do you want to jump in on this, Adam, if we can? If we need another pair?
Yeah, no. He's going to pair up.
We're good. We're good. We're good. Everybody's good. Okay. Brandon
Do,
with the
do you have a paper back there?
papel.
And everyone has pens, right? If not, we have pens.
Pen me. See? Yep, everybody's tired. We're about to do this. No.
It's the last session.
It is, but this was fun.
I cannot believe it's the last session. And I pretty much have to go
It's so amazing.
All right, so make sure if you're not supposed to be looking at the screen, make sure you're not looking at the screen. I'm going to show a picture of something, and the youth / people who are looking at the screen will have to describe to the adult, what to draw.
Do not.
But you can't say what it is.
You
Okay.
that's the rules. You cannot say directly what it is.
Correct.
You have to describe it so they can draw it accurately.
Okay.
Say it one
Ready?
more time. Yeah, so the adults should be drawing, and you're gonna once you see the image on the screen, you're gonna try to describe.
And I'm only
you're
gonna
seeing.
I'm gonna show it for a couple seconds, and then I'm gonna
Take it down.
take it down.
But you
So-
cannot say directly what it is. So if it's a flower, you can say, draw a flower.
Right.
Okay, that's not allowed. You
You
would
can
have to
use
tell
shapes.
them how to draw it. By the way, it's not a flower. To just give you the clue. So.
Or maybe it is.
What do you mean how to draw it?
Like draw a vertical line or draw a straight line to the right.
Or shapes or whatever.
Yeah, you draw a square, draw a circle.
But I have to try to figure out how I'm
Does that make sense? Everybody good? Everybody good. Are you ready?
All right, ready?
On your mark, get set. The image is in there. Or it's not, because Brandon's going to pull it up.
It's refreshing.
Whoa, what did you do?
There we go. This.
There it is.
Is everyone laughing?
Without saying what it is.
Wait. Are we allowed to say it's like a specific thing? Like a.
No.
No.
Describe how to draw it.
Maybe I should leave it up.
Maybe you should. I feel like that was raw to
Yeah.
be like, you know what? We're
It
taking
is.
it down to the
It might be
lower
a little complicated.
I'd say that was wrong.
So we'll give.
That's why, anytime I'm small talking, I'm doing this. Come up with my pal. Get caught on the hot mic.
Brandon, this is excellent. This is excellent.
Hey, you know what?
Except
This
for
is
the
actually-
Except for the third one.
And after the third one, if we wanted to cut it early, I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a better idea. Energy in here is just low, low, low.
I think they're into it, which is so this would have been great as a first session.
Yeah. Facts. Feels nice.
It would have been. All these things are great to facilitate the youth legislation.
Tell the ones to talk to us after the session about joining the government board.
You know?
Tell her.
We can try it again.
Mine's up.
Regularity. Like when Ali was working,
Uh-huh.
like every 3 months.
We only need one puzzle because there's only 3 youth. We only need one of these.
Well, we got some for people after that. Makes us bad. That makes us happy, right?
What? Yes, yeah.
Oh no, Riley's like, what? No. That's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, I know.
For the size of this thing, that's a lot of pieces.
That's why I'll use the other one as a
Example.
yeah. So we'll see what it looks like.
We should be breaking them. Jeez. That'd be weird. These puzzles are confusing. Do we want to put it in a box somewhere? Did it even come?
I'll just put it in here for now.
How we doing? We almost done? No. Are we almost? No? Okay. Good, man? Good. So, moving
Yeah.
on.
That's even worse.
Moving on now. All
Right? That's why I just
so
told it.
how did we do? Everybody can turn around if you're done. If not, we're going to move on. How did we do drawing the state of Pennsylvania?
How'd we do?
How did we do?
Interesting.
It's not bad.
There you go.
Adam, how'd you do?
Looks more like Illinois. Wow.
Hey, Illinois is a
Good
state.
job, Adam.
Pennsylvania's better.
Do we have a discussion on
Talk-
this?
So for the youth, how was this?
It was very interesting.
Dad just gave a dap on that one, like way to go. How was it?
So I said, like, draw some mushrooms in this area, draw a bell over here, draw a bridge over here.
Yeah, and okay, so how many of you that could not see wanted to look so bad? No, nobody? Nobody wanted to be like, I want to know what that is? Wow, that's trust. That's love.
It's good. We talked about trust, right?
That is the beginning of adult-ally relationships.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What are other strategies some youth used to try to?
She gave really good instructions for the, I want to call it the right side of the steak. Telling me that it looked like somebody took bites out of it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Once I had that, I was like, oh, I know what I'm drawing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Very good.
We didn't make the picture, but good job, Riley. That was a good job.
Yeah.
I may have screwed up the directions. Was I not supposed to watch him while he drew it?
No, you could watch them.
You can
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
You can watch. Because I would have watched and then laughed about how bad I am at doing this. That's what I would have done.
I would have just dropped hints about Liberty Bells and a lot of rivers, you know, with something great up top, you know, that sees the Canada. So, you know, just would have dropped hints like that, you know.
I think Texas in the meantime.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now it's kind of looking like Florida, like it's like it's the
Okay.
Panhandle.
So is there any questions so far? Are you all seeing the concept of youth-led, youth-driven, and how it can be different, but how it can also be a learning process for everybody, and really beneficial?
Yep.
And you can really kind of pick out people's strengths and support needs at the same time. So the last activity is, I don't know if you want to explain this one too, Brandon.
I think I'm gonna do it a little differently though, since
Okay.
we had more people sign up than what probably a lot of people
I
want
think
to
we
know.
wanted to go home, but don't blame them.
Yeah. So we were gonna have at the end the youth do a puzzle, and the parents aren't allowed to help at all. But we're gonna have everyone does it together. Except we're gonna kind of go off the first activity where the youth can talk to each other, but the adults, was I echoing? The adults can't talk.
Right. Didn't we do that before with the age game?
Yeah, and it's good. It's kind of gonna be similar to that. We had to switch it up a little bit since we only have so many people.
So here is the puzzle. You can actually
We can just gather around a table.
everybody get it one
And
more time for your mind.
while
One,
he's
two.
doing that, I am going to take the lapel mic so it doesn't drop. Give me 1 second. This is what we're going for, everyone.
Do you want to put it over there next to them so they can see it? I'm not a puzzle doer, but. So
Right
again,
hand-
so again, are we saying youth cannot speak?
No, youth can speak.
Youth can speak.
And adults cannot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
Adam, I think you should get involved in this. I think you should with your plaid shirt and your amazing shoes. Just a joke. Just a joke. Just a joke.
it is a decently large puzzle. So
It is. Look at Adam. He's like, I'm
don't
just
feel
I'm just
pressured
an
that he
English
has to
teacher.
finish it.
I am just an English teacher who likes football. And amazing chocolate covered cookie dough. Yes, but they're like Sugary City, but I'm into it.
You were talking about Sugary City.
Go ahead and
See what I
go
have
ahead
to
and
say?
get started. Remember, adults cannot speak. Remember.
We need some kind of energy on the ride home.
Communication is key.
Well, actually, so they can't touch the puzzle.
Oh, no touching.
Should we amend the rules mid-game?
Do it. I mean, you're the game master. I'm just here. I'm just here for the candy and the popcorn.
Fizz naive.
I don't see a moderator in this room right now.
Oh yeah.
How are we supposed to give professionals the code if we don't have the code?
Yeah, where's the
Starting to feel it a little bit. Where's the people?
Yeah, look at all this money that got released on the highway.
Where's
I'd
that?
be on the ground.
In Atlanta, an armored truck flew over.
I'd be ground.
Oh yeah. I'd be out picking up.
I'd be on the ground.
I'd be picking up the cash.
It says about like 600,000 they got released.
And then all they can do is just say, "Please give it back."
I can play
They,
it.
they say it's a law against it, but like
Yeah.
it's really possible.
I can play awake or I can do that. What would you do?
We'll just give them these plans.
Where's this one?
If we had time, they'd fill this out, but we're not out of time.
Should. It's 3:15.
Oh, 3:15.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 3 o'clock.
I think it is. Look on the thing.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, crap.
So fine. Just do that and be like, we're out of here.
Do you want to explain this one?
Huh?
I'm not supposed to talk to you. No, you're not supposed to talk to me.
I think.
You're supposed to shut up. You're not supposed to talk to me.
Yeah, we should probably find out. Are there? I'm assuming there's people here who need the.
The code, right?
code, right.
You guys do the code, teachers, right? Okay.
So, Adam, find someone with a code.
Go to the, you should be able to go to registration and get it, Adam, if you need to.
Yeah, talk to Pam. That's weird. I wonder who our moderator's supposed to be. I wonder who our moderator's supposed to be.
Apparently Adam, because he's about to get the code.
Moderator probably bounced. Like, you know what?
Because if you're staying now, you're dead.
Could those CEU credits?
Yeah, I would. I'd be getting these all of them.
What kind of credit? Yeah, what kind of credits do you?
So, me?
No, like how
So-
many credits is a conference? Would be this conference?
I don't know. I know it's a lot, though. Because
Is
there's
it?
like, I think you get like, what is it, like 3 CEU credits per hour.
How are we
Yeah.
doing? How are we getting there?
Wait a second.
See my man, he wore a Spider-Man mask to the Spartan run. Got some weird friends, man.
Yes, you do.
Yes. Thank God every day.
Is Michelle's water bottle right there? Oh, yeah. See? We cannot forget that. That is Michelle's water bottle.
Oh, I was wondering who it was. And no. See you, Amanda.
Got it. See you, Melissa.
Melissa.
See you, Melissa.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
I'm assuming that you just communicate with me next time a meeting happens.
August 17th.
We
Oh, okay, so it's already set?
it is. Allie can't make it, so I don't know if that, and neither can Julia, but I don't know if that
is changing.
We probably
Changes
should
anything?
because this is like the come to Jesus meeting.
It is a come to Jesus meeting.
I think we just do it, and we bring new. If we get more applications, we do the same thing. We bring them in.
What does the 31st feel like for people just curious?
That's cool, man.
August 31st?
Yeah.
She's probably somewhere with Bo.
No, it's my birthday weekend.
Oh, she.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
do
so
that.
just-
Do
She
that.
don't like
Yeah.
us enough yet.
Nah, do your birthday. We'll just communicate through text.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just
Do I
start
have
through text.
everybody?
Hi.
Need the code?
We
Yes,
do need a
yes,
code.
yes.
Yay, I am the code
Eventually.
Yeah, it's not ever till 3:15.
Not there yet.
so-
Safe travels.
We just need-
Get home
We'll
safe.
be down here in a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you want us? Do you want to do this?
I mean,
Or we could just introduce it and then say
we
if
could
you want to use it.
if you want to fill it out, they can. If they want to hop out early, it's fine. Just want to kind of explain what it is, and then
I got my hula hoop. Is this ours?
It's mine.
Yeah.
oh, I forgot about that.
It's L Tri-C's hula hoop, actually.
Okay.
Cool.
Why L Tri-C has hula hoops, I have no idea, but they do.
Front desk people asked if they could have some cups. Some of those PYLN cups.
They're in the car.
For how?
Okay. I told them they might be packed up already.
Who is asking specifically? Who is asking for cups?
Who wants a cup? Anybody know?
They were asking for cups at the registration
Yes.
desk.
They're already in the car.
Yeah. Who's asking?
Because when you pour liquid in them, they go blue.
Oh. they're
Probably all packed.
yeah probably they're all packed in the car already. I can get them. Yeah.
Can we check on their status? I cannot. Are they done?
So ESPN has us as the fourth ranked Arsenal in the league.
Behind who?
For what?
I disagree, right? Cleveland's
We'll
number
give them
3.
like 3 more minutes.
Kansas City's
We'll
number
give you guys
2.
like 3 more minutes. I
And
know
LA
it's
is
a
number 1.
large puzzle. I told them to get a smaller one.
Like Cooper Cup.
I did.
Like he's not.
How far?
You know, he's really
It's
not.
like 75 pieces.
He's really not. Robert Woods
I
is
said get
overrated.
30.
Brandon Cooks is fine when he's
No.
there. And Jared Goff is one of the most
They're like
underrated
halfway.
quarterbacks in the league right now.
Right.
Halfway there.
No way.
Like this is kind of okay. Like and
Oh.
Juju has improved himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Living in my bed when I get home.
They can make him touch. Especially when
Yeah.
he gets big like that. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know.
Doesn't matter.
That's a good point.
Adam, can you come pass
So
these out
that's-
for the last thing, man? We're gonna wrap this up, but I know. Wait, let me see it again. Wait. Thank you. So we're going to hand out to you a thing we call the new plan. So hopefully you've learned about what it means to be youth-led, youth-driven, and what it means to be an adult ally. And so we're not going to fill these out right now because we know people would like to get home, and Hillary probably wants to give the code, you know. But if you look here,
At the conference, but here, Everett.
well, yeah, it's great, yes. So in your hands now, you'll see something that says the new plan. What still works and what we can change, or what can we change? So, youth, you can fill this out and give it to your parents. Things that are still helpful, and things I think I could do more independently. So, I know, I'm sure there are some things that youth want to do they could do more independently, and I'm sure there are things they might still think are helpful from their parents or teachers. So I would encourage you to ask these directed questions and ask them what is helpful, what could still be helpful, and what do they think they should actually focus on to learn and do more independently as they grow and think about this whole transition thing to becoming an adult. Is there any questions before we just wrap this up? And they're going to finish the puzzle, I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's multiple ways. You can create an affiliate of the network in your school or community. Or if you want to become an adult ally of the governing board, we would love to have support from other adults in the community to help and support that. Would you want to talk about that after this for a little bit? Is that cool? Any other questions? Thank you all for sticking it out, and I think Hillary's going to give the code.